call it the danger of drifting. It happens both physically and spiritually. Years ago, when our boys were teenagers, we went on a vacation to Hawaii. Lisa stayed on the beach while Stephen, Michael, and I went out into the water to snorkel. Now, as we put our heads into the water, we saw some of the most beautiful fish in all the world. What we didn't see was a huge rock reef that was about a quarter of a mile down the beach from where we were snorkeling. But Lisa did. Now, to hear Lisa tell the story, the three men whom she loved more than life herself were floating on top of the water with our heads down, slowly drifting into the barrier reef. She tried to warn us, but we never looked up. She tried to get our attention, but our heads were in the water. And in a matter of minutes, we had drifted from the safety of the beach to the rocks of the barrier reef. It took all of our strength and energy to make our way back to the safety of the shore. And when we finally made it to the beach, our legs were bruised and cut and bleeding. I think I still have scars on my legs from the time I drifted into the rocks. Now, what I learned from this was how easy it is to drift. In fact, you don't even have to try to drift. If you do nothing, you will drift. I also learned that it's dangerous to drift, because when you drift, you most always drift into danger. In a river, you never drift upstream, you always drift downstream. And drifting is often accompanied by pain, bruises, cuts, and scars. I love the writer of Hebrews. In Hebrews 2 verse 1, he says, "Therefore we must pay close attention to what we have heard, lest we drift away." Did you know that you can drift away from God? It's not hard to do. It's easy to drift away. Now, you don't even have to try to drift away from God. If you do nothing, naturally, you will drift away. But the Bible is our instruction manual, or our warning dashboard to show us how not to drift away from God. You see, we must pay close attention to what we've heard, for if we do not, we will drift from God. The remedy for drifting is to stay close to God and to grow closer to God each and every day. I've heard it said before that life is nothing more than the sum total of the choices that you make. You're free to make your own choices in life. Unfortunately, you cannot choose the consequences. So I want to encourage you today to stay close to God so that you can make wise choices in life. I want to encourage you to stay close to God's church so you can have the encouragement and the accountability and the support of people who love you and care for you. You see, and most of all, pay close attention to what you've heard so that you do not drift away. Because when you drift, you most always drift into danger. And drifting is often accompanied by pain, bruises, cuts, and scars. So pay close attention, my friends, so that you do not drift away. And that, my friends, is an encouraging word.